Enduring the darkness is preparing for great light, is St. John of the Cross. Much of our lives are spent constantly pursuing sensory pleasures. Each time we think we have found lasting satisfaction, soon enough, we need another new pleasure to soothe the deep emptiness, an emptiness that seems never to be filled. We often seek pleasure and try to avoid pain. Most of us are trapped in this cycle until the end of our lives. However, some have gone further and escaped this cycle, like the Spanish theologians John of the Cross and Teresa of Avila. In their view, humans from their origin have a longing for perfection. This goal cannot be achieved through worldly pleasures and indulgence. Therefore, instead of seeking outwardly, we need to delve inward to explore the depths of the soul where sacred things are hidden. Through spiritual awakening, we gain a new perspective on reality. Life's challenges become clearer. Recognizing that our past lifestyles cannot fill the void within and not knowing where to go next can lead us to despair. According to John and Teresa's perspective, we need to undergo a transformation process that occurs in the darkness of the unconscious to attain light. This experience, called the dark night of the soul, is a mysterious and elusive transition process. After efforts to seek God in the material world, John of the Cross described God as nada, from the Spanish word meaning nothing or nothingness. This idea is that our senses cannot perceive God and our minds cannot grasp His wisdom. Compared to the traditional image in Christianity of a powerful old man in the sky, God, according to John's perspective, is an extremely mysterious and elusive existence. This observation parallels the concept in Taoism of the Tao, an indeterminate and incomprehensible force beyond human intellect. John of the Cross became a disciple of the Carmelite nun Saint Teresa of Avila in Spain in the 16th century. Both emphasized deeply the integration of the soul and the divine, and both went through dark periods in their lives as their process of integration unfolded. John and Teresa described these journeys as passionate, intense, and emotional affairs. In the poem Dark Night of the Soul, John of the Cross describes this union with the words, "O guiding night, O night more lovely than the dawn, O night that has united the lover with his beloved, transforming the beloved in her lover's love." Although the concept of the dark night of the soul originates from Catholicism, it is not exclusive to those following the Catholic faith. Absolutely, it's a spiritual phenomenon that anyone can experience, regardless of religious prejudice. It can be a journey toward sacred integration, occurring deep within our souls or essence. These are experiences hidden in the spiritual realms that we cannot see or comprehend. Thus, the dark night of the soul is an unconscious adventure with consequence that we may clearly perceive. According to Teresa, the tragedy behind the union of ourselves and the divine is our failure to recognize who we are and what the purpose of our lives is. Blinded by worldly pleasures, things our senses can experience, it's no surprise that many cannot transcend their passion for material satisfaction. It's entirely possible to go through life from one pleasure to another, seeking satisfaction in each experience. However, there are those who feel a deep void that cannot be filled by anything from the external world. Perhaps we've thought that money is the solution, but upon attaining it, we realize that it doesn't truly bring happiness. Similarly, status and fame are only temporary, not bringing long-lasting satisfaction. Even relationships and romantic love cannot meet all the expectations of our hearts. According to Gerald May in his book, The Dark Night of the Soul, there are those who have felt this from birth. Despite their efforts to assimilate with the values and desires of the society around them, their hearts always lean in a different direction. They have a profound understanding that satisfaction does not come from chasing success and fame. Instead, they always feel a sense of absence, a kind of love that cannot be expressed in words, but can only be deeply felt within the soul. Some, even in old age, unexpectedly realize that life is not as they once imagined. A classic example of this sudden awakening is the concept of taking the red pill, derived from the movie The Matrix. When one swallows the red pill, the veil is lifted and we see the true reality of life. Of course, we may choose to return to the Matrix, but we will never experience it quite the same way as we did when living in blissful ignorance. Plato's allegory of the cave teaches us that what we have seen cannot be erased. So, after awakening, we may choose to return to the cycle of desire, but we will always be aware of the emptiness of this pursuit. We know it's just an illusion and therefore cannot fully enjoy it, even starting to feel disgusted by it. The experience of the gray area between the mundane and the sacred, along with the profound unrest it brings, is part of the darkness in the soul. As we lose faith in old ideas and beliefs, our will weakens. This is reflected in our loss of appetite for things we once loved. We realize that these activities are hindering us from progressing further, achieving something that cannot be explained by reason, but is still desired. No matter what we do, there's always an attraction pulling us in a specific direction that we're not sure why or where it leads us. As we try to recreate old memories and reignite the passion for things we once loved, we feel more helpless. That's why, for many, going back is not an option. They must move forward. But how? And what guides the way? Should they practice prayer, meditation, or perhaps seek help through therapy, or maybe by embracing some religious belief system? Unfortunately, we can't interfere with this process except to enhance awareness, tranquility, and acceptance of it. St. John of the Cross wrote, "The purest suffering carries and brings forth the purest understanding." So perhaps we need to reflect on the nature of what is happening in our lives, a process that, according to John and Teresa, is an unconscious movement towards what our souls truly desire: love. In their spiritual view, we, above all, crave deep love. And this love not only directs towards each other, but also towards God. Thus, the union in the darkness of the soul revolves entirely around love. It is the beloved seeking union with the lover, which is sacred. And the sacred is present in everything and everyone. As we immerse ourselves in it, the emptiness within us is filled. For example, Teresa, a nun in the Catholic faith, endured 20 challenging years plagued by confusion and self-doubt about her faith. According to May, she was concerned about others' opinions and how they perceived her as a devotee. However, when she finally surrendered to God, she let go of these worries along with all opinions and judgments, whether her own or others. Teresa experienced liberation. The dark night of the soul is a process of self-abandonment. Unconsciously, we forsake the notions that hinder us from becoming our true selves. It's a relinquishment of control and a willingness to receive rather than defend. In the dark night, we are losing the self we have known but have not yet become, the person we need to be. We are in between, unable to go back, yet the path ahead is foggy and unclear. The haziness of what is unfolding deep within the soul gives us a sense of strangeness and confusion. We sense something is amiss, but cannot truly grasp what it is. This experience may range from a silent awareness to a state of melancholy and profound hopelessness, but it doesn't necessarily have to be accompanied by pain. However, the sad reality of the night of the soul is that we cannot control what we do not understand. We cannot resist or intervene in it. So, according to John and Teresa, the only thing we can do is accept, and before we realize it, the dawn will shine. As John described, I am lost, forget myself, deeply immersed in his love. All sorrows vanish. I depart, step out of myself, leaving worries to fade amidst the fields of lilies.